It's 5:15. It is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. We are in the council chambers for the regular Marketing and Communications Committee meeting. Call the meeting to order, and the first item for business is to consider approving the minutes from the previous meeting of February 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 20th.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. General agenda items for consideration. Discuss and consider the January and February revenue and expense reports. I don't know if anyone had any questions on any of those at all. I believe Emily had told me there was some adjustments she was needing to be making yet regarding some of the expenditures out of here. We meeting at the PNF last month, so I think there might be some adjustments on some of the items. I think that had to do with the splitting off of some of marketing, social media contracted positions, some of the wages from the marketing funding, and some of it from the fairground funding and things. Any questions on that? Approve on it. Next item, review and discuss the marketing strategy revisions. We've had a couple different meetings. I think Scott and I met with Hallie and Annie O'Connor just to kind of talk about a couple things. And I think some of these were things we had discussed in our last meeting, so we're just kind of looking at how to put them into place. So I think the only things that were huge difference on what he originally had provided to us in the strategies was we broadened our target audience to include people of the age range of 18 to 45. And I think we're also looking at some recent high school, college graduates, kind of trying to target them a little bit more specifically as far as the jobs aspect of technical trades. I believe what the other items that we kind of expanded on was to include the relevant zip codes within Wisconsin, but outside of Lincoln County, as well as continuing the Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois zip codes, primarily where the chamber was having their one for the trade shows. So we included all of those, and I think Duluth, that's where you guys were at. Is that included under Cameo now?
We're adding it, yes.
Okay. I don't know that there was anything else hugely different in here, other than just trying to shift the focus just a bit more towards the marketing of jobs and technical jobs to try and fill in some of the needs for some of the local businesses. And then I think one of the things we were talking about doing with the messenger and the messaging of it was to try and include possibly some little video snippets from some of the businesses, local businesses, as far as options to why did you start your business here? What do you enjoy about doing business in Merrill? What, why do you like working here? Some little short, little 15, 30-second videos like that we're thinking of.
Do you think we could get a line writer to do it? They just want to manufacture gear or business gear?
Yeah.
Say it.
I think what we're going to do is when we send out that business hiring survey, we've added a question to that. It says anybody who's interested, let us know, and from there, I hope we get some good response from the businesses, and if not, then I guess we'll reach out to some of the more specific ones like that have that kind of reach to try and get that going. I think also looking at how we can work with the rural entrepreneurial venture that's starting up with Sarah Gill is working with Renee Fredericks and whoever else is working on developing that for the area, so I think that means something to kind of try and incorporate. And I think one of the bigger things we need to do is come up with some good metrics to try to figure out if these things are working or not. So that's hopefully what we will be able to establish a baseline with the hiring survey that we're putting out. And then I think the other thing we're looking at is considering shifting some of the budget priorities and, you know, maybe taking some of our designated dollars from one aspect of our Midwest communication, shifting to another. Trying some sponsorship ads through Facebook or things like that. So I think that's kind of the gist of where we are at. Is
Mark
anybody-
Bars is really good at that. So I would think maybe if we reach out to him, he may have some opinions as far as the Facebook advertising.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get input from him and see what his thoughts are on it. Does anybody have any other considerations or thoughts on any of this as far as strategies or where we're headed, or Ally?
I think we're in the right direction. Changing it up a little bit might help, but I think overall, the new strategy here that we're adjusting the strategy a little bit is necessary and I think it'll be okay.
I think kind of the way Scott had summarized it too was, you know, we've kind of gone from the rollout of getting people familiar with the new branding, the new logo and things like that, you know, to make that awareness out there. Now that that awareness is out there, now we really need to kind of start hammering on the components that we're focused on, which is jobs and housing and schools, to try to bring people to Narrow and maintain people in Narrow. So that will all work out well. All right, well, any other comments on that section? Not sure who's on the line with us. Scott, that's not you out there, is it? Nope, okay.
No, this is Sarah.
Okay, Sarah, did you have anything to throw in or not?
Nothing specific. I think, like was already said, that you're moving in the right direction here. So,
All right. The next item on the agenda is the business survey update. I think Scott and Dustin have got that pretty well hammered out, Kelly.
Yeah, it sounds like they have everything ready to go. They were waiting on Rod to get a couple more addresses or email addresses, but otherwise I think it's just about ready.
Yeah, and it wasn't a real long survey, and like I said, we added that last question on there about anyone who would be interested in providing some video information or whatever, and kind of, I think we were going to do follow-ups with them if they said yes to that, that we would send something out to follow up with them and say, okay, this is kind of what we're looking for. So hopefully we will get some good results from that. So if there's any business owners out there, we hope you will respond favorably and participate. We appreciate that. Next item is Chamber of Commerce update. Sarah, do you have anything to?
Not really, otherwise Sarah, I know, is updating on the Economic Summit, but Clyde and I did attend the Wisconsin Governor's Conference on Tourism. I believe that was last week. I can't keep track anymore. So that was just kind of nice to get some refreshing new ideas and hear how the state is doing and different things that they're doing to attract people to come, and then being able to play off that as well. A big thing that the state, as far as it's the tourism. I'm totally blanking right now on the wording. Travel Wisconsin, there we go. It's like the theme is boundless, and it's that outdoor activity, and that's, I mean, so Wisconsin is doing a big, they had a national campaign even that rolled out. They're doing a lot of the same things that even just small Maryland is doing as well. So it's kind of refreshing here and the outdoors and all those things. But yeah, the different breakout sessions and things like that were very interesting. But yeah, so Other than that, we did hire someone new now. If you guys weren't aware, Cheryl no longer is at the chamber. We have a new lady that just started today. Her name is Sarah as well, Sarah Brooks. So now when you call, make sure you're verifying if we don't use our last name, which one you're talking with, and you do care which one you're talking with, to clarify, because she is Sarah with an H as well, so it makes things fun for Clyde. He just gets to yell Sarah now when we both respond. So yeah, so that's nice to have someone new in and getting them up to speed. So if you're by the chamber, be sure to stop in and introduce yourself. I'm sure she would welcome you. She's a big hockey family. So yeah, 3 kids, triplets actually. So very nice, upbeat. Love to meet you guys. I'm sure she'll actually be visiting, I think, tomorrow with Rod. So if you're around to stop in. So other than that, it's just kind of, yeah, not going on. And I know Sarah, and I've been working with Sarah and Tomahawk Chamber and Main Street about planning the Economic Summit, so I don't want to steal her spotlight, but that's what I was also going to mention too, so I'm glad Sarah's on the phone. So.
All right, very good. Appreciate the update on that. All right, well, there we go, the Economic Summit opportunities. The next thing on our agenda, Sarah, if you want to expand on that a little bit, we included the registration form if anybody is interested in attending. But Sarah, why don't you go ahead and...
Great.
Go for
Thank
it.
you, and really thank you for putting this on the agenda. And I apologize for not being there in person. I had a meeting that was supposed to be yesterday that got rescheduled to today down in Wausau, so I couldn't make it back in time. But we're really excited about the summit, as the other Sarah, there's going to be a lot of us now, mentioned, she's been really helping a lot. We've got a number of Merrill businesses that are going to be presenting in some of the different education sessions. And we are also going to use this opportunity. Our lunches is going to feature food trucks, and so I'm going to work with Hallie to get some flyers promoting Food Truck Palooza so that we can kind of give some additional promotion for that event to the people who attend the summit. And so hopefully, if you're able to be there, we would love to really fill the room if we can. And I know you've got the information, but just to put it out there verbally, it's Tuesday, April 8th. The morning kicks off by 9 a.m. And you can come and get updates from, we're going to have the chambers from Merrill and Tomahawk. The cities are going to talk about what they're doing for development. And then we've got some great keynotes from the Department of Revenue and WEDC. And then the afternoon is really going to have a whole lot of great educational sessions, including an entire session about marketing your business.
And Mark Bars.
Mark,
Yep.
Harris is going to be there. Yeah. He's going to be on all 3 of the panels all 3 of the sessions. One he's doing it solo, one he's moderating, and one he's a panelist. And Sarah Sturm is going to be the moderator for that session. And there's been quite a bit of interest from the people who have registered already, showing that the marketing is potentially going to be the track that has the most interest, at least so far. So I think that's really going to be intriguing to see how that plays out. But yeah, all the details are online. Are there any questions that anybody has today?
I don't think so, Sarah, but thank you. I think that'll be interesting to see what comes out of all of this, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I know I've mentioned this in some other areas, but one of the main things that we're using the summit for is just to gauge where people's interest is to help us with preparing future trainings and educational sessions. And so there's the possibility that, if there's enough interest in some of these areas, we really want to visit how we can build on that and continue the education moving forward.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Next item, monthly reports and updates. Hallie, I guess I would ask you to kind of highlight and explain a little bit of that last little chart that you included with your monthly report, but if anybody has any other questions before that on the reports, be good time to ask where we're at with things.
Nothing? Okay, so the last chart that I have is the website analytics for the website pages. This month, or February, dropped significantly for everything. So I just think it might have been a slow month. I'm not sure where we're at for March yet, but it just seems a lot slower, so I don't know if Cameo, if it was slower on her end as well.
Well, we made some changes to the campaign because it was our Phoenix requested, and making some of those changes actually will make a drop.
Okay.
And so that's the reason, is because we made those changes.
Okay.
Some increase again or something, you
Yep.
know. We don't want to see it continue to drop based off of, lack of activity, so good to just make a note on that.
Yep, absolutely.
And then you said that acquisition column, that is,
The acquisition column is, I'm trying to think of the right words now. That's where people are coming from to get to our website. So Midwest is a key acquisition, so that when people come from, like the clickbaits on YouTube, where they click the button and it goes to it, it says that it came from Midwest. So 307 people out of the 774 came from Midwest Somehow.
Do you mean Midwest, do you mean Midwest Communications or the Midwest?
Midwest Communications.
Okay.
good. Well, I'm glad that you could explain the other part of that. Like we were moving forward, so, but even that's good, so, I mean, to see that increase. Any other questions? All right, then we will go on to Midwest Communications report. Does anybody have any questions on that? And then we'll let Cameo kind of highlight anything that, or answer any questions, because I understand this always as usual well. Thanks for the overview, Cameo.
Yeah, are you ready for me then?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, in the overview, you will see that it says that they saw a significant drop of actions. It's because on February 10th, we changed some of the geofencing. So if you line up, it probably will fit exactly to that date.
Okay.
So, but the main thing is that the display breakdown, we're still up with the jobs. And the YouTube, I mean, our completion rate is very good. It only is about 1% above January, but once again, whenever you change algorithms. But the biggest thing is to talk about is we're moving, per the council, well, the email, we're going to be moving the display into Facebook. Facebook, we try to do all the content like a week, the month prior. So we're going to have to start setting up a time that maybe you and I can meet and be like, okay, this is what we want to do, or this is what we want to do. So the first month, it's kind of like, if you could send me, or by tomorrow actually, what is going on in Merrill. Okay. And then we'll start focusing on jobs too. We'll get some posts for jobs. One thing is with the Facebook company that, like the designer that I have, she does a lot of reels and videos that she can find. It's not obviously original, but we've been doing it for Lincoln County, and it looks like it's Lincoln County, and it's getting a really good response.
Do you have any samples that you can kind of forward to?
If
the
you go
committee?
to Visit Lincoln County, and check out the last couple weeks. That will give you some really good examples of that. And so, we're going to be switching that. So that's the biggest thing. And then focusing more on jobs. And then I'm also working on an ad that will be more general for the radio to be about jobs. So we're going to rotate events and jobs. I went to the site. It looks like we're getting a lot more content for people putting job listings on there. Hopefully we can get some more professional, because I see a lot of like Quick Trip and, a lot of entry-level jobs. So hopefully we can get with that survey that you're doing some more,
Yeah. That might be something that I wonder if we could bring that up at the summit too, just to let business owners know that if they list, where to list in order for that to show up there when, that might be something to consider.
Because I was reviewing everything, the one thing I thought was a little bit maybe confusing that we should talk to Scott about whenever he gets back is because the fact you have your page and then you have your list, and then below is where you have, the experience Merrill part. Well, whenever you look at it first, it says employment. So I clicked on that. I'm like, oh, this is where they're listing the jobs. No, this is the jobs for the city. So I'm wondering if there's one way we can flip it so that people see the attraction to Merrill first before the whole civic part. Do you see what?
Right. Or we could list it as city employment.
Yeah.
Maybe, or something like that instead of
Mm-hmm.
general employment or Merrill employment, city employment or something.
I think we talked about switching everything around before, and it would have cost us a few $100s to rearrange the website itself. So that's why we didn't change it.
Yeah, that would be the only page though that I see that
Okay.
you would actually need to change.
Okay.
It's just taking the top part and then
Right.
reversing it. And then also working on the locations. You said that you were going to get a list of chamber cities attending. Can you give me a list of all the cities that you kind of been hearing a lot from these expos that you're going to? Like certain areas?
I can try, but we didn't have like a sign up or prize this year at all, so we didn't
Okay.
have people registering like we did last year. So I can't really say for sure, I guess, what cities they were coming from, other than that they went to the cities that.
Other than the ballpark, they were, and, okay.
So, which you kind of already have.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, then we'll just kind of go through the maps and then kind of highlight and go from there. We also talked about hitting, because we haven't been targeting the UP at all, and we talked about that in our meeting. There's not a lot of jobs up there, so I suggest that we start adding those.
And I think that was one of Scott's questions was, where up in, but I think we also had in there to include relevant zip codes within Wisconsin, but outside of Lincoln County. So
Mhm.
whatever that would consist of, if you want to, kind of focus on the ones north of Highway 70 or.
And do we want to focus, any of the Facebook with Wausau area that close, or how close do we want to be?
Yeah, I think that's a final decision that needs to be ironed out, but I don't think we're eliminating them because we're trying to work on establishing some relationships with the tech schools and the trade schools, so, they're right there in Marathon County and Nicolay Tech, and
Mm-hmm. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll be working with Holly a lot next week, getting everything, to launch for Facebook, and then we'll kind of make the changes and go from there. on exactly where we want to target, but at least we can get it rolling.
Yeah, and we can maybe have one more meeting with Scott just to kind of
Mm-hmm.
bring everybody back together again. And
Can I ask like a, not a dumb question, but I mean, I see it is in the under review strategy elements, but, and maybe we've talked about, and I apologize, I forget, but being that our target age range too is like that 18 to 45, but you know, we hear a lot about Facebook ads and things like that, where now a lot of the younger generation is on X or Instagram or TikTok, you know, do we have those channels created for the city? And is there a way even just to create those so they can start, do you guys put the ads on those channels as well for other people?
We have the
And could you,
capability of doing that. One thing is though, adding all those extra social presence takes a lot of extra in the background.
Right.
You
I
know.
get it. I just didn't know, like, I mean, if we're targeting this age range and they're not even on Facebook to begin with because they don't do Facebook. I mean, I know that they do, but I know that they're more the reels and it's over my head still, and I'm not that old, but I didn't know if that was a conversation to be had soon, because if we keep spending the money on a place that they're not at, that's basically what I'm trying to get
Well,
at.
we haven't spent any money on that yet.
Well, that's what I meant, or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, because we haven't done anything on Facebook yet with it. So
Do you guys have the ability to place connected TV?
with like,
YouTube TV, Hulu?
we're on UTP. Yeah. Mhm.
YouTube TV?
Yep. So, and we have the capability of OTT, ZTV, all that. Mhm. But I mean, with Facebook, I can also get some analytics to see it. I mean, where 18 to 45 lays, and see, because I don't know what the demos is, you know. But yeah, there is a lot of kids that go on the TikTok and all that, but that.
I feel like TikTok is one of those that's here and it's not here. That's why I've not actually invested my time into it. But I mean, Instagram has been here. It's just part of Facebook or.
well, and I think too, one of the other things we could consider is your geofencing towards the high school. You know, within.
We can
near the-
geofence high schools as long as they don't have the middle school as part of it.
Yep.
Because we legally can't target anything 13 years and younger.
Yeah, so, we could do something that might be a
Then
little bit.
with the interactions that you've reported, do you have an idea on how much are within the 54452 zip code or outside of it?
We haven't been targeting 54452
Yeah.
at all.
I mean, like any of the interactions. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the we have so far the people that we target all outside of Merrill. 84 of them came to Merrill last month, and we have Merrill the Circle.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get anybody that just goes to Walmart, or just goes to McDonald's off the highway, because that's not actually going to bring us anything. So yeah, we do track that.
Okay, any other questions for Cameo? All right, then I think we'll just kind of place the reports on file, but do you guys think another follow-up with Scott is a good
Yeah,
way
I
to
think that's a good
pursue it,
idea.
and bring back something again to the next meeting, hopefully something we can make a decisive step forward on then and get going on a lot of it.
And then also, whenever we're doing anything with Facebook, because of the fact we're going to be doing, posts outside of the areas, and we know exactly what the laws and rules and regulations are, so you guys don't have to worry about losing your Facebook account for anything that we're doing, because of the fact that we know everything that we can and cannot do. Because there is a lot of people that don't. So, okay, thank you.
Right, thanks, Cameo. So, entertaining a motion to put the reports on file?
I'll make a motion to put the reports on file.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and public comment. Any public comment? Okay. Then I think that is it. So the next time, next meeting, April 17th at 5:15. And motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.